Welcome back, everyone. And depending on where you are, too, Happy New Year if you follow the Lunar New Year calendar, the Chinese New Year. I know here it's actually the New Year. I know in NA, I think it's like 8, 9 o'clock or something like that, so not quite yet. But just throwing that greeting out there, that's important to me. Maybe not as much to you guys. You look very bewildered.
Well, what are we the year of?
Pig.
It's the year of the pig.
That's why there's all those piggies flying around in the...
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
I would say it was much more relevant for me back when I was in Southeast Asia with Fnatic, because they are Malaysian Chinese team. Well, were back then primary. Yes, it was actually like a lot of. I mean, I also got stuck in a team house for a couple of days when they went out actually celebrating. I'm just like, guys, I have my video games.
There you go.
I'm cool.
But we have some more NA Dota coming at you right now. We actually have Team J.Storm versus CompLexity.
Saw them right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is obviously, again, nothing against Ulto, but a bit of a step up here as far as competition goes now for CompLexity. I do expect this to be a good series overall. I would lean towards J.Storm initially, again, the whole standing situation, whatever. But J.Storm has their own situation going on with, let's not overlook how they are running with Fear now. And it's been a little bit here, of course, for the major, but replacing Milan just before. Frankly, it was a move that I wasn't a fan of on a couple of different levels, and one being Milan was a fantastic player for this team and was a big reason, it felt like, at least, why they were able to make it to the major. Now, of course, as replacement of Fear, all the experience in the world, a TI winner, etc. Knew about playing the support role, at least more recently. We saw him play a very small hero pool at the China Major. I think it was pretty much Grimstroke and Lich off the top of my head. So I'm curious to see what he specifically and what J.Storm can do around him in now Game 1.
Yeah, definitely we're all going to be keeping our eyes on how this all works together, because you can have the best players in the world working all together, but if it's not got the right synergy, if you don't have the same play style, it's not going to work. So someone who probably has a lot of experience in dealing with different types of players coming together, making it work, is, of course, Kips here. What do you think, Kips?
Well, I don't think J.Storm is going to have much of that problem, because Fear is old friends with a lot of the people on that team, right? So I'm sure they've got the chemistry part down. What I'm interested about is more so if the strategy is on point. And that's going to be a problem from CompLexity, of course, as well, because they're missing their primary drafter right now. But when I'm looking at these bans here, right, these are completely different from the previous series. These two teams know each other.
Right.
There is probably multiple layers of mind games going on in these couple of bans here, because there's so many weird ones here that we didn't see like at all during the entire day for us. So CK first phase, Undying first phase, Sven I can get behind. I think we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Nature's Prophet as well, but Elder Titans sometimes, and of course the Tiny. So there's a couple of picks in there, like especially that Nature's Prophet I can see as being a very clear anti-CompLexity pick. But on the other hand, like the CK, have they been running that support, for example?
That must be a fact pick, right? Again, I can't say. I was actually going to look that up, because that's one of those.
Go ahead.
That's one of those. I'm pretty sure that's why you see that ban, right? They're not just going to randomly ban that out of nowhere.
No.
So I think it's safe to say.
We do have the strong opening with the Lich again. They've been doing the Lich Juggernaut opening on CompLexity. I'm not sure if that's something that we'll see potentially coming out right now. Not bad.
Hey.
Well, almost.
Start doing it. Yeah, there's a block pick Juggernaut. They don't want to give that over.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Does mean that CompLexity gets to potentially... why did I put it over there anyway? I'm mirroring things wrong again. I'll carry it over towards this side. I've given up.
J.Storm did not run Chaos Knight earlier against Ulto or Forward Gaming, so...
Do they scrim? I'm wondering if they...
I take that back. I didn't see him initially. Never mind.
Okay, never mind. It is what, 3 a.m. here right now for us?
2 games, 3 a.m. Both games against Ulto, they actually did run the CK.
Oh, okay.
So, and it looks like... I assume it was a support CK both games, but...
But that's always, of course, that is the threat of it being the Lex, right?
Yeah.
Like CompLexity is probably thinking about, do they want that Grimstroke? Do they? No?
That's a disgusting combo, too.
Yeah,
both of these heroes seeing very slight nerfs, but still very, very powerful.
Extremely so. And like, in Tusk is... I don't think he has still the greatest win rate right now, but I have been saying, like before, if you have this combination with a carry that can jump or even like a laner that can jump on anyone. You've got the lit shield, so you can't exactly hit him back. And then, of course, there's a tag team, double slow, double damage for everyone involved, pretty much.
Right.
So, a great combination. And with the amount of tri-lanes that we've been seeing, I have no doubt that CompLexity are going to try to get some kind of synergy going around Miracle here.
That makes sense for sure. Do you see the Dazzle pick up over on the side of J.Storm? Do we know, is that potentially a core Dazzle, or is that going to be a support?
For J.Storm here, I would think support.
Okay.
Again, I go back to Fear. He'd be the one to play it at that point. And yeah, I'm sure he could play it just comfortably. But, there's always the chance, depending on matchup specifics and if they want to run it in the core. Something I meant to bring up last series about CompLexity. Miracle's been playing a fair amount of Mirana in pubs recently, and I think in one of their games earlier today, he actually ended up picking it up too.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that earlier, and I was surprised because I know it's not super popular here, and it also did get a change. I think the speed of the arrow also was a little bit different, so you've got to make sure that you're practicing with that, because I'm sure that'll throw you off otherwise very, very hard.
Yeah, that was the 70-minute game against Forward Gaming. That was the Divine Rapier bouncing back and forth.
That's right. I remember Rana had a rapier, then Cook had a rapier, and then, so, what a game.
One to look out for. Did not see it in the previous series, but...
And I wouldn't call Ursa like a jumping kind of carry specifically, but with how fast that guy is right now, he could definitely cross a distance. So I can see why J.Storm would want to take that combination off of the field. Then on the other side, a couple of supports taken out, or sorry, the Earth Spirit taken out, and actually the Darkseer as well. So CompLexity not looking to pick that one up themselves, and they'd rather take it out instead. Of course, they also have no space to pick up an Oracle anymore.
Yeah. For how popular Juggernaut is, Ursa does actually seem like a really good hero against him. And yeah, you had a Lich and a Tusk, both are great synergy to go along with an Ursa. So I could completely understand that that ban there, despite it not being too popular.
That's coming. I'm very sure that's coming.
Faceless Void.
Void, also like a Void Lich is both in the lane with the shield as well as right now.
Ooh, that's a hero we have not seen at all.
Bloodlust bot.
During our shift anyways. I'm not sure if we saw it during the daytime shift, but...
You know what this is shaping up for? Magnus. Magnus is still on the board.
He's getting all the buffs.
Yeah, it's this.
For Team J.Storm. So I wonder if CompLexity is thinking about that themselves now.
10 seconds. I think you have to, right?
You see Ogre.
Board?
You don't have to, but Juggernaut is one of the most iconic Empower targets. How good of a hero he is right now in general. I will say the RP follow-up is a little underwhelming at this point.
Ooh.
They do go Enigma.
This is a death hero.
Death Enigma. The second time we've seen this today.
Yes. And once again on a player for who it's really a signature. So let's see. I do believe that indicates a bit more of a
10 seconds
tri-lane on the side of CompLexity, because you're not usually going to dual lane Enigma with anyone. He'll pull that lane back, he'll get his experience, he'll retreat into the jungle if necessary.
Tusk over there.
So, thank you. So we are waiting for our missing piece of the puzzle in between here for later.
So yeah, again, I have to think Magnus is up on that top of the list at least for J.Storm. You could argue, again, going to be great against Enigma even with the BKB as a potential stopper too, so there is even added value there now.
There is space for... They would have to run it core at this point, but there is space for that, seeing as that, for example, the Tusk is not going to be able to stop a Magnus from just running out of your lane. He can very easily make that distance between him, and all of this damage is going to come out from all these Frosty heroes.
Yeah. Tidehunter's still there too. That's another one that if they're not going to go the Magnus route, good reaction to Enigma. Kind of that playing that big ultimate game against one another.
Yeah, who is that? What?
A Warlock.
Who is that hero? I've never seen that hero before in my life.
They did.
Is this a new hero?
Oh, I mean, I know this is a favorite of Jimmy's. So.
A demon there, yeah.
Yeah. And he should be drafting with them right now, I believe.
I would think so, yeah.
Is that a core Dazzle or is that a core
either an
Ogre Magi?
We have seen that. You are right. Let's put them both in the off lane for now.
All right, sure.
Remaining.
We're doing the roulette here. That is a very unexpected pick, though. We were joking about that here earlier.
Similar idea, though, as the Gunny Magnus RP in that no matter what Enigma gets, Black Hole with the BKB still can be stopped, like the classic stopper, in fact.
I do actually think that I think about it, you're going to want to have the Dazzle core most likely, just because if you have both Warlock and Dazzle, your support duo, if they get levels or not, they're not really going to do anything with it. You're really going to have to sit back. And that puts a lot of pressure on the Juggernaut to make things happen, and he might not even get into that position.
Okay.
I guess the other thing about it too is like being able to have the Katic offering on top of the Enigma as well, right? Being able, if he does eventually get himself that BKB, you've got to wait.
It's just always going to cancel.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that you're not in the middle of it. That is the other part of that, is making sure that you have the positioning. That's
the problem with this hero, though. At the same time, why we don't see him often is that he is a walking ultimate in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
His skill set is okay. You know, his heal's okay. His, the not shackles, but the damage, the fatal bonds, potentially decent to take advantage of, but it really
probably does well in a tri-lane situation as well, I would say. So if you get the shackles off on, this hero that's learning in with the Lich armor, you might be able to go into it. But I don't have any experience with that, so
the fatal bonds there.
Yeah, because with
the Lich Frost Shield.
Yeah, the last time Warlock was being played, Lich armor was non-existent.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't know yet.
Well, against it is what you're saying?
Yeah, against it.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I don't know.
In CompLexity, running with the Limp Timbersaw once more. All right. So they're saying, all right, you're light on the lockdown.
Yeah, they're very light on the lockdown.
Which is also why I was thinking that Core Dazzle.
And if they want to go Core Dazzle, then he does not match up well against Timbersaw. So
no, he does not. Core Lock?
Core Lock, yeah.
Those days are...
You don't know. Hand of Midas is also making a comeback. Warlock is, he's got a good animation. He can last hit decently. You could, if you really wanted to. And especially if they've practiced it, I think.
True. Remember the days of having stats? Where you could level up stats? I used to run a core Warlock, or mid Warlock, and just put points into stats, and the Shadow Ward just run around the tower.
Look at that. This is a miracle ban right here.
Yeah, the Miracle Naga.
Also a carry that we haven't seen too much of yet. Although she is fairly easily countered. And
Phantom Assassin.
Confident.
All right.
Not
much lockdown. It's not much lockdown coming out from the side of J.Storm, so you know what? She should have a pretty...
And this is the classic for the Lich Tusk combination, by the way. That is your jumping carry. She's going to get everything put on her and come in with that attack speed as well, which means that on every single hit for that attack speed, she gets the extra buff from the Tusk. It deals so much damage. The only time I've seen a lane win against it was a tri-lane with an Undying, which is you don't win a tri-lane against an Undying.
Ember Spirit stands out to me right now. Brawl Ember Spirit, he plays that quite a bit. It's a great matchup here into Timbersaw potentially. I guess against the PA, it's not necessarily fantastic, but the mobility ideally doesn't matter because Batrider is the final pick anyways.
You look so displeased right now, Breaky.
I'm trying to now register that.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the matchup against Timbersaw, to be fair, great against Timber. I would imagine so. Into that. So yeah, is that going to be a Batrider mid?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Bryle on the Dazzle.
Or is it into the PA lane? Because if they don't do
Batrider into a tri-lane, I don't like Batrider into a tri-lane normally. So I would say that they're going to try to lane this mid.
And I don't like Dazzle against Timbersaw, so that's even more reason why.
Let's just go with this.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll find out soon enough, right?
Exactly, and I am very interested to find out as well because this is the kind of draft that I would not in a million years have seen coming.
So that being said, what are we thinking? Who are we liking? Because right now I'm liking CompLexity's draft. It looks like all the pieces really fit together. They make sense to me. The Warlock pickup I'm very skeptical about. just because of the fact that, you know, like Breaky said, he's kind of a walking ultimate, and he's not very popular right now either. But maybe they know something I don't.
The cooldowns on CompLexity are so much shorter as well. So right now, like, I'm tempted to go with J.Storm just because this is exciting. I have no idea what they're going to do, but at the same time, that's also why I don't really trust it, you know?
Right.
And I know exactly how, as you said, the pieces of the puzzle for CompLexity are going to come together. I know the timings of this draft. I'm going to go CompLexity here.
Okay, so we've got a CompLexity for Kips, a CompLexity for me, and real fast here, Breaky. Like,
J.Storm for me, the Batrider
J.Storm.
pick. I'm liking it more and more. The matchup, he's great against Phantom Assassin for lassoing and pulling him in. They don't have a lot of ways to react to that. Honestly, so I like it. I like J.Storm.
Okay, so we've got a J.Storm, we've got Kips and I going for CompLexity, and I'm guessing J.Storm is going to be production. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how well this Batrider works out, and also, again, the Warlock pick it's just funny because, you know, we've been memeing about that all.
Well, because there's one of those is broken over there with the Warlock. We're like, we're not going to see it picked anyways.
Yeah,
Who cares?
that's not a big deal, but there is obviously a correct Warlock here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, pretty.
It's Enigma, though, and that's going to, you mentioned Death Enigma, of course. But yeah, the Warlock, the one time we're potentially going to see a Warlock is into an Enigma, I guess, because, again, the iconic stopper of that black hole, wherever he is. And
And I really want to see which players are on what right now.
Yeah, there's Bryle on the Dazzle there. And March is going to be playing that Warlock.
Wait, so Bryle's on Dazzle?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I wonder if he's still going mid or not. Because, again, mid into Timbersaw as a Dazzle, it sounds atrocious. I'm not a mid expert, but it's all physical presence, and you're dealing against that reactive armor.
Well, it looks like to be the case. He's got pooled tangos.
Interesting.
Right. Maybe they send him a friend to help him. You know?
Maybe.
4-man smoke from CompLexity, moving all the way up here. Ignoring Fear for now. He's not a good target anyway. He's too beefy. That is some deep vision.
I wonder if they're expecting some kind of early rotations or maybe some Batrider to jungle a little bit and take advantage of that.
Well, Husky Dusky is going to spot them over here from the high ground. There are 3 heroes, though, here.
Oh man, if they catch all 3 with this combination, it's going to deal so much
What
damage.
did Tusk get? Did he get shards or
Nothing
he hasn't
yet.
done
He
anything
hasn't done
yet?
anything yet.
None of them are skilled yet. That was a Frost Blast, I think, though, on the Lich.
Yeah. Okay.
They noticed. So, yeah, I'm not going to get them.
They're actually going to let them get both runes, I think, no?
No.
No,
they
okay, they got
one.
the other one, sorry.
And the bottom lane is going to be a 1-for-1 as well. So, yeah, we'll be the 2-for-2 in the end. Right now, Enigma is shaping up to go mid, but I think this is because, so they are going to send Timbersaw back because they see Dazzle coming down mid. And so they're going to send Dazzle to the mid, and Enigma will go to this off lane.
Yes, but he could have... I think he was just denying the range creep over there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Actually, might have been doing that.
So there's just a regular old creep wave in the bottom lane and a little bit of an advantage for Limp going into this mid lane for now.
Should feel very, very comfortable for him. Could be a bit problematic for Bryle. Top lane, Miracle getting a little bit of harass. They are tri-laning against them.
Lich is sitting there, yeah. Monkeys is being very patient. And I've noticed that he's been playing a lot of Lich for them. And again, it goes back to Monkeys is not typically a support player, so they're going to put him on, once a couple that he's played more often.
I hate that courier so much. That's the creepiest courier. There was like the amateur team that I used to cast for, and they knew how much it creeped me out, and they would always try to really bring my attention to it. Oh, the speed demon, don't like it. Anyways, though, can't complain though, right? It's not the default courier. I always complain about that.
Default. No, yeah, Lich PA we haven't seen in a little bit, just similar to the Lich Juggernaut idea, where it's, again, the PSK, she Phantom Strikes forward with that Frostulence. Good luck getting away from her idea.
Also gets so much slow, too, right? Because you can throw out the dagger, you get the slow, you throw out the Frost Blast as well.
They did nerf the slow of the Frost Shield, so it's not as strong.
Not as OP as it used to
it's
be,
okay.
right?
No, it's Frog.
La balanced.
A lot in this lane actually depends on who gets the level 2s first. Because that's the side that's going to get to jump. And in the case of if the Radiant gets it, I'm not sure if it's as strong for them, but especially if Dire catches their level 2s just a little bit early, they can use double abilities such as, for example, well, oh, that's a...
Why'd they tag team there?
I guess that's a little bit of a whoopsie.
Maybe they got a little excited. They're like, oh, we're gonna go do something? I don't know.
So he did get his level 2 there. Maybe he was just excited to show it off. You don't know.
Maybe. You know. The stand coming out, though, from the Warlock. And I heal up that jug. Nice and easy like.
Yes. If no burst is going to happen in this lane, this is very much favored towards the Radiant side, because you can't really kill the Ogre, so I suppose you'd have to go on either the Warlock or on the Juggernaut, but the Juggernaut's obviously a very hard target.
Right.
Because of the spin. Warlock throwing out the Fatal Bonds there.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Got some more creeps coming into the mid lane.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Dazzle is doing very good in the mid lane so far. To his credit, it's early on levels, and yeah, 13-5 against a 10-0 Timbersaw. Something tells me it might change a little bit as the levels start adding up and that reactive armor starts kicking in more, but so far it is a strong start for Bryle.
So Fear is out of mana right now, and he is getting slowed down quite a bit. They have those shards, and they have plenty of damage. I think this is going to be able to be a nice kill here.
Oh.
They can get it off. There it is, the first blood, but it's looking like Tusk is not long for this world either. He's going to get taken down, so they lose Fear, they lose Z-Freak, and they have a little Kerscuffle there in the top lane.
Yeah, so a lot of damage in that confined space with the Fatal Bonds as well. That makes the Warlock pick a lot more valuable in and of itself. And we just actually saw Death topping the net worth, or at least the last hit charts briefly, just by grabbing these creeps and pulling them into the jungle. And once again, action on the top lane.
I mean, Monkey's just a little bit too forward there, or a little surprising.
Another way, gets taken out. Gonna have to walk back, it looks like. I don't even know if he has a TP ready.
I imagine that his Frost Shield was down, and then the tri-lane with the shorter cooldowns is just going to go on him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that I mentioned that you definitely should do when you have this lane opposite you. Make use of the fact that they have long CDs on the Frost Shield, on the tag team, etc.
Miracle kind of struggling a little bit up there. He's sitting at 12 and 1 CS, and we've got 18 and 4 on the jug. So he's definitely getting the better side of all of this, because he does have quite the backup in this lane. Bottom lane looks like Batrider is not winning this trade. He's getting potentially a lot of gold, but actually going to be okay. He's going to go just bottle up and through it. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, he knew that there's not much more he could do, so kind of definitely pushing the limits, but very comfortable, of course, with it.
I like how Fear's just a big old tanky ogre right now. He can just sit there, Monkey's just flicking snowflakes at him, I guess. I don't know. Not sure what that actually is, but just can't do a whole heck of a lot. Bryle here, a bit of a dive over here onto Limp. Limp's gonna use the Timber Chain, get himself out, does have a solve, so he can just heal right back up again once the poison touch is over.
He bought a lot of salves already.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is, I gotta admit, this is a much more of a struggle for the Timbersaw than I would have expected, so.
Oh, like that just doesn't want to deal with it, and will just TP himself out to the shrine. And
this is actually looking like CompLexity is slowly but steadily losing all 3 of their lanes.
I guess Death is, yeah, technically it's less CS, but I think he's doing okay.
Monkeys! Nope.
But yeah, all 3 cores are farming very well, really, if anything, on the side of J.Storm.
That's not right.
And that, not only, of course, that's going to favor J.Storm as a whole, but I think the 1v1 matchup, you know, the gentleman's agreement that we mentioned, that's going to favor Batrider because, you know, the drums, etc. His lasso value will be a bit more effective earlier on in this game than I think the presence of Enigma, who will more than likely, want to, you know, build bigger items. These are items.
They are going on to the Batrider now, though, but you can't really cut him off. Oh,
yeah,
the PA actually came with him.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Tag team. This is going to be a dead Batrider. And giving it to Z-Freak. Would have liked to see them actually give it to
Miracle? Oh, that was very risky just now. And I guess they're switching up these lanes.
Well, she's struggling in that top lane. It feels like she's not getting what she needs, so they need to do something. And it looks like, I don't think you dive in on Fear. I think you just continue hitting these creeps, allow Death to kind of make a little space doing that. And yeah, Limp actually coming top now to try to deal with this lane. But, oh, bottom lane, they've got their eyes on Fear. Fear sitting very, very low. It's going to be able to get healed up, though, by that Warlock, Shadow Ward. And now the rest of the team in for some trouble because they've got the Fatal Bonds on. They'll take down Miracle. Snowball's going to come out. It's going to turn right back around, but you're still dead, Z-Freak. So it's a big rotation coming down there for the bottom lane.
That definitely looks a bit overzealous for CompLexity. I know what they're trying to go for there. Like, they need to switch up these lanes, they need to make some space, and they did have a lot of Eidolons down there, so they could potentially push down that tower. But you can't go in on Fear.
No. Like, we saw him. He just stands there half the time and just, you know, he's a big tanky boy.
Yes, and it's frustration, obviously, because these lanes did not go the way they expected. These lanes did not go the way we expected. And they have to deal with that right now. So I'm not sure where Miracle is going to go next. He is actually jungling right now. And that's a tough fate for a PA who was in such a classic strong tri lane.
Be worried that you'd start to see some rotations trying to bother her in that jungle too. But they do have their eyes over here on Tusk. He's just going to roll himself over to these creeps. He's got those shards standing there, and he needs to really hustle out because feels like Bryle is really hoping that he's going to be able to get enough hits off to get this kill. But bottom lane Death also has to be a bit careful. He's got a couple stacks of that sticky napalm, but we'll just walk away. And we do find a kill, actually. Z-Freak going to get taken down.
This Dazzle is going to be an issue.
Yeah, Bryle's doing work on this hero. Again,
I was absolutely wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that, because not only was the laning phase, you know, great for Dazzle, but we know what Dazzle can do, especially when he gets this early of a Necronomicon. He's probably one of the scariest heroes in the game that has it this early, especially. And he's going to start pushing lanes, and the tempo is going to get out of control at this rate, it feels like, in favor of J.Storm. And I don't know what the answer is for CompLexity. It goes back to that. They've swapped things around, but it doesn't necessarily seem like that's been to their ultimate favor just yet at this point.
I feel like Limp has just had enough of this Dazzle's nonsense being chased after him, all that poison constantly, the healing wave on top of that.
Yeah, I think, again, I would like to see how the lane phase went, but I think Bryle's also just been abusing this poison touch, of course, maxing it out. But, you know, applying it and not putting damage into him, follow that up, right? It's more of just let it take down. Don't stack up those reactive armor charges and let the poison touch do its work. And I would believe that's actually been a big reason why he's been able to be so successful out of the lane.
That's pretty interesting. Oh, bottom lane, though, Midnight Pulse going to take down all of those trees, exposing the Bat Rider and the Warlock.
I really enjoy this from CompLexity. They know they have to break a tower somehow, somewhere, just in order to make space and get some of this pressure off of their PA.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if they were going to go for it, but they do manage to go grab the Bat Rider, turn him back around. They need to get a little bit more damage. PA throwing out the dagger. They're looking for this opening shard. It's going to be able to connect. It's just going to fly over, though.
Connect-ish.
Connect-ish, yeah, like...
they still see him.
He has Black Hole now. If he can get it off. Here. Oh, it's okay.
He decided against it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's worth it, but ultimately, yeah. They just realized too late or whatever, but just came off cooldown.
Things are not looking as bad for CompLexity as I initially thought. Both the Timber and the Enigma are doing decent still, but
bottom
they
lane
cannot leave the PA this far out.
No, Miracle's gonna get dragged right back in there again. Those are two pretty big ultimates that they use, though. They use the Lasso, they use the Chaotic Offering, but they did manage to get themselves a PA, so I guess they're pretty happy about that, right?
Yeah, 100% worth.
Yeah, again, Lasso's one of the bigger reasons they picked up Bat Rider, in my opinion, was for the PA specifically. So it's great use of it there. Chaotic Offering, sure, but without it, they weren't going to be able to set that up necessarily. And now the good thing about this, you can now push out the lane as your Warlock.
I mean, he did have to cast it pretty far up into his own territory, though. So he's not going to be necessarily doing any tower damage with that. And that's a lot of gold to death. Hello.
Oh boy, mid lane though, Moo finds himself a kill over on Monkeys Forever. This tower is going down pretty fast now.
We haven't really had to talk about Moo yet, even just because he's had such a great time. And I imagine he is going to be moving forward into... he's going to Yasha?
Yeah.
So he's going to be fast, he's going to be furious, and I imagine that J.Storm are not really going to have to stop the tempo for anything. Except for maybe like the odd chance of a black hole happening, but even for that, they can just drop the Warlock ultimate, so...
Well, they know that it's down though now, right? Because it's still got quite a high cooldown, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Unless it's been changed in the last, and we haven't looked at Warlock.
It's a really long cooldown.
In quite a while, so I mean,
like
that is the opening if they want to try to make something with that black hole, knowing that there's...
Well, there's no blink
scary.
dagger yet. I was more thinking like, you know, in the next 10 minutes or so. Because this is the laning stage breaking down. Timbersaw keeping top tower alive on his own for Complexity. And I think he's backed off by now. The Lich is getting some experience there. He might die there, but it's going to be worth for him just because he's a Lich.
Still doesn't have the Necro. I thought he would have had it by now, but it is being delivered out.
Yeah, I was about to say, something's getting delivered, and it's not DiGiorno, that's for sure. NA joke.
I was going to say, I don't know.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't think Kips is going to get that one. But,
to be fair, who else is going to be up at this point in time as well?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe some diehard, you know, NA European fans.
Ah, yes, those.
I don't know.
The numerous.
Just let me dream, Kips.
I like my online pizza.
That's, yeah, that was our dinner tonight. Literally says online pizza. We learned about that though. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, that was the only place you could order pizza from here in Sweden.
As far as delivery goes right now, yeah.
Yeah. Mid lane, they're jumping on Fear again. They keep doing this, but there's quite a few people here, so they'll be able to find that kill.
So Marcos is level 6, so he's got crits online. And he's not going to be farming fast just yet, but he is moving into a Desolator, so we're going to have this pivot point in Complexity's draft where basically the PA is going to have the Deso online, and at that point she's going to hit a power spike. She's going to get a couple of those crits off. If that works, the Gucci. If it doesn't work, whoops.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
That's simple, really. Not going the Battle Fury. I think that's worth stressing. Now, again, Battle Fury did get a slight nerf, but how do you feel about that, Kips? Not going, because was that just too greedy this game? Is he going this Deso because they feel like they need to fight now?
Yes, I think they expect not to be able to hold this if it goes on for much longer. Also, Limp is going to be taking a lot of farm. Death is up there right now, and I don't think he has a Midas either. No, he's just going to straight team items. So, ooh.
They want to kill him.
Yeah, they dropped the Chaotic Offering. They've got a couple of these nice multicasts coming out again. Oh, death, my friend. That's trying to save him with those shards, but it bounces him back in the wrong direction, unfortunately. So, we'll lose the Enigma again here.
Who was the top net worth on the board?
Limp?
Trying to cut him off. Get the bounty rune.
Literal cutting here.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Oh, no, I remembered it. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good.
Well, if you can't remember, it probably wasn't that important.
That's right. Oh, no.
Come back.
I got it. Bots picked up on Batrider, as we see here, and he's using that to zoom around.
Gonna try to buy himself some more time, but I don't believe he gets away. You see the taunt come out as he gets sliced down there.
But yeah, look at that. Bots with the drums. You throw a Bloodlust up. He's
a speedy bat.
Flying machine. Who needs blink when you can just run up to them?
Yep, and with the reduced cooldown on the Fireflies, well, he's going to be able to farm a lot with that, as well as cross huge distances on the fly, so to speak.
He's also massive too with the blood.
Yes.
It's a giant bat.
If you find that hanging off of your ceiling, you're not going to be happy.
See, that's when you burn your house down fire, right?
Well, it does that for you.
Oh, that's true. That is true. The perks, right? That's actually pretty cute, honestly. They look like little, they're like, what do they call them, sky puppies?
Some of them.
They look kind of like little dogs, I guess.
I think the light point for Complexity here is that Limp is recovering decently, and it's going to be hard to focus him down still. They probably would have to use an Omni Slash for that, I'd say, and or the Batrider Lasso, so he'd draw a lot of attention towards him at least. And hopefully that would be enough for his other cores to pick up a lot of the rest of the damage.
Why doesn't Timbersaw get permanent reactive armor stacks like all these other heroes now?
Oh god, please. Don't say that too loud, the frog will hear you. The jump forward though, there's going to be the stars followed up with the snowball. Nice shallow grave coming through though. He's going to be able to keep himself alive. Couple of bounces maybe possible. No, but that dagger, just barely isn't enough. And the mech's gonna get popped here over on Death. He's thinking about going back in. Dazzle sitting very low. That shallow grave is on cooldown for 20-something seconds. And they don't have the chaotic offering, but I don't know how he finds this opening. Yeah, he's just gonna hit up this creep wave.
Yeah, that mech out of Death doing a very important job of helping his team get back off after getting hit by such a huge amount of damage from the Warlock. And that's going to be more important later on as well. If they manage to win any fights against this, what happens in a fight against the Warlock is usually everyone's going to be super low. And you have this awkward situation where, oh, we need to push, but we all want to go back to heal. And him focusing the team items once again is the right call here, I believe.
Yeah, pretty good deep push here, having the shards and of course the chalk from being thrown, but J.Storm really feels like they just want to keep running at these towers.
Yeah, why not? It's I mean, I guess there's a black hole presence, but
it's not scary.
Not going blink or anything. Yeah, he's going very aura heavy, so they're aware of that. At least they assume that's the case.
Yeah, and if you're CompLexity right now, you just want to stall out. You want to force the fight in that choke point. Maybe collapse from the back on the Warlock or something like that. But right now, really, everything is about the recovery of this PA still, because she is not a presence. At least she has a lot more net worth than Fear right now, which has been definitely different during this game. But she's also still only on the way to her Desolator.
It almost has it. We've seen plenty of RNG before, where just gets one lucky dagger proc and...
Well, into the pit they go. We're going to see them take that Roche. Got the medallion on the Dazzle. It's going to be able to take this down fairly quickly. Monkeys needs to be a little bit careful. Again, Death, they want to get in there. I feel like they want to get in this pit so badly, but they just can't find the opening. They know that they're all grouped together here. Throw out the Malefice over onto Fear.
He got stuck on the wrong side of the shards for a bit, but he is such a tanky boy. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
Yeah, it required too much to kill him at that point, so not worth the investment.
Boy. That Rider just got himself a blink. That's pretty scary.
Yes.
This is a quite farm bat right now.
He's going to have it delivered out here, and this might actually catch CompLexity off guard, because obviously the last they saw him, he did not have a blink dagger, so if he hides it here,
yeah,
which
he's
looks like
really
he's
good.
Gonna...
Him getting chased out by this one Necro Archer.
It's like, he'll be back, and I'll be ready when he comes out.
But tough times for CompLexity, because with his blink dagger as well, there's no good way to hide up on your high ground anymore. Bad Rider is the king of taking out entrenched teams like that.
They know that Timbersaw's over here. This is going to be the blink reveal. And Limp is,
Yeah.
I guess they don't want. They're not going to go after him.
Yeah,
they saw him
for somebody else.
Oh, I hear a lasso, and it's a pretty good target. It's going to be monkeys. That's well, you know, that's you get in the pit. You don't have to worry about that.
Chain Frost bounce.
Chain Frost,
yeah.
you know, it's Chain Frost. It's usually not that big of a deal, but when you're very tiny and close space, I can, you know, appreciate that. I don't want to be hit, you know, with all the bounces.
They're doing Roshan, I suppose. Yeah, that's a decent pick, but
any other time, it's kind of like, oh well, but.
And they've just dewarded the high ground of CompLexity again.
We're going right back into that pit. Shards.
It kind of makes you, I guess, if anything though, J.Storm, it's not like them doing this is forcing CompLexity to constantly react to it. So it's not like CompLexity is just farming elsewhere while this is happening.
We do get the Death Cell completed though now.
Yes, PA is.
Miracle.
Yes, I think CompLexity, much like with the tower defense before, was mostly stalling for time. And they smoke up now. This is the, well, a little bit of a hallelujah moment. Are you going to pray to RNGesus?
Does Enigma have like a blink or anything? Did he
no, he doesn't have a blink. I'm thinking that if they can, like, they're taking the long way around here because they're hoping that maybe they'll get too comfortable and maybe they can sneak up on them.
Yeah.
That would be
what I would you assume. Can't come from the side yet because the mid tower is not yet down. So they're going to have to bait out Limp here.
Yeah, they're really close. So look at this. The jump forward, they've got that blink. No, this is going to be a nice, a big ol' black hole coming through. And we get the Omni Slash as well. Bouncing around, still going to be able to do so much damage to move. Just slicing people apart is going to have to get the buyback coming out from Fear here. They want to try to get a little bit more, but they've got those shards up. Yeah, the party horn coming off. And they don't have the stun. Oh, doesn't matter. They don't need a stun if they can just murder them.
I think that is still pretty much a best-case scenario for CompLexity though there. That was beautifully executed. They all got a lot of farm out of that. It's like, I guess the only shame is that Juggernaut gets a really big boost there as well, being the one to clean up. But excellent black hole there from Death, and just... that was a symphony of skills moment right there, honestly. They got the Warlock as well, no cancelling that business.
That's exactly what they were going for. As you're leading up into that Kips, that's pretty much the play, the hope, and obviously it didn't work out in terms of numbers ultimately in the end of who died for either team. But yeah, that was the best case scenario. But again, not killing Juggernaut now, his farm really shoots up and it's going to go right back into the Roshan pit, understandably.
They do get some items though. There was a, let's see, there's a Lotus Orb picked up on the Timbersaw right now. I saw the Tusk getting a, what was that, a Vlad's. So those are some luxury items coming up as well for a lineup that was pretty starved before. Another lasso.
There's a bat, and they found themselves monkeys forever.
I would still party horn that, just for the, you know, you're monkeys, you got a party horn.
Yeah, right.
I'd miss that if he didn't do that, honestly.
It's my favorite chat wheel sound, man.
So the high ground siege is still coming, but this time the PA is halfway to a BKB.
This is looking super ugly. Okay, Lotus Orb will come out to stun up Fear. I'm not sure how they get in here. There's no threat of that black hole. Again, Limp trying his best to just put out some damage, but the Bat Rider starting to go throughout the Firefly all around. There's going to be Brawl throwing out some of those poison touches. Dagger will get thrown over onto Brawl. Got this Chakram rolling around, but again, they're just going to lose this tower. They can't find this opening.
It's like he's drawing an arrow backwards.
Yeah.
The Firefly. He's trying to tell them to go in. Guys, please, you know, initiate now.
And just like that, they just walk away.
I noticed Hannah Midas picked up by Ogre in the chorus ever since that change.
It's very satisfying to clear an entire creep wave using your Midas when it procs.
Haven't been seeing that, unfortunately, but I'm sure it's been maybe procced once or twice. His net worth is okay. So Fear's liking the farm there. And Dazzle's going to sit on the level 1 Necronomicon, but a Medallion and I'm back to go with it now. Full Guardian Greaves just around the corner for him. No, the net worth of the cores on the Dire side, though, I guess Timbersaw and Enigma more so, they're not far behind, and even Phantom Assassin, she's recovering. So, yeah, I don't think this is actually as much of a runaway as I was kind of expecting it to be because of how the laning phase went from J.Storm. And as we go back to, again, and another big black hole can completely change things. Yeah,
that is one of those ultimates that just can change an entire game. Just one good team fight. Put you back on the board. It's very similar to, you know, Chronosphere Ravage, those sort of things where, you know, you've got that massive lockdown. And as long as you've got other heroes alive that have the damage, works out. But this bat has been very much on point.
And I think that J.Storm has so many of the tools they need to end this game, and CompLexity isn't even close to their win condition yet. Normally you'd really want to do this off of, you know, lane momentum and then a big Phantom Assassin on top. But she's not catching up, and she might never catch up at this rate.
She's always going to have to deal with the lasso initiation, too, on top of all that. There's really not much she can get, of course, other than like a Linken's, but I don't think she's going to be looking to be a Linkens anytime soon. I guess the support can, but...
Timbersaw could.
Yeah.
Though he has the Lotus Orb already.
Yeah.
And the bigger problem in the end here is Moo, who has, you know, he didn't die during that one Hallelujah engagement for,
It's a lot bouncing back on Fear there.
Can have those right back, Fear. They did not get Moo. Moo has been farming out of control. He is not just such a huge damage dealer, but I'm also unsure about how they're going to kill him at all at this point. Miracle has been cutting the creep wave. It's going to catch you deep.
Double damage is pretty nice.
It's going to be careful running back up into the high ground here, because this is full of Radiant Vision. And he wisely stays away and uses it to farm jungle with instead, but they might still catch him on the way back here, unless... Yeah, J.Storm's just moving forward.
That Rider.
Ships in the night.
That's close.
Manages to stay away. Almost has that BKB finished on Phantom Assassin, at least working on it.
Does it really matter that much, though, when you've got 2 BKB piercing spells? Is my question.
Yeah.
When you're playing from behind is what I mean. Like, we had that happen before in one of our other games, right? Luna got herself a BKB, but she was just so far behind at this point that it wasn't enough. It just was too, I don't want to say too little too late, because it's always going to be a good thing to have, you know, but
her mobility will be really weak if she doesn't get a problem. So that's the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, it's not the ultimate answer. Again, it's not a freedom tool necessarily, but
I guess the question is, can you bait the Phantom Assassin maybe at this point and then try to get a black hole on top of it, sort of thing? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, again, it's risky. It's high risk, high reward.
It's possible. Creative thinking.
You just gotta figure out some sort of
going in with the gaze.
Pull him in.
That Aegis has to be respawning soon, by the way, or I mean, taken away. Yeah, it's 5 more seconds really. So that was almost a fairly clutch timing there from CompLexity, but J.Storm picks up on it. They play safe.
And they do get one of the base towers down, so now the shrines get taken out, and it's going to get that much harder now for Miracle to slip behind them and cut the waves.
Dire's bottom shrine
Fear's going to have an Axe at this point soon as well.
Oh my god.
And double Fire Blast.
Yeah. I was joking about that earlier, but if he multicast at Midas enough, they might actually get him up to a higher net worth than Miracle again.
Well, he has a GPM talent too, right?
Yeah.
Is that the level 10? Yeah, 90 gold per minute. God. Gotta play more Ogre.
That's what we had Daniela play the other day, our producer.
She did fantastic.
Gave her the Ogre. She's learning. She's learning for sure. We didn't give her anything fun, though. We didn't tell her to build a Midas.
Yeah, that's true.
Told her to build a boring Aether Lens and a Force Staff. Gosh, we're the worst. Trying to give her a fun game.
Yeah, I think this game was fun enough already. If by fun you mean complicated and deadly. I think fun is complicated and deadly, usually.
Okay, all right.
Maybe the other way around.
I mean, your favorite hero is Phantom Assassin, so this kind of makes sense. Do have a big old smoke though here, and the PA did finish her BKB, but again, I'm just concerned that it's not going to be enough for her here.
No, still need more time. Yeah,
especially, you know, Moo is big and scary.
Yes.
Their own smoke though here too. Might try to
they
wrap
can't
around.
Go on this at all.
They definitely can't approach from the low ground.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Limp has been able to create nearly as much space as he'd hoped for this game either. He has almost finished a Bloodstone. Again, went that Lotus Orb first, understandably, but...
Yeah, they're going to bait him out.
Will they take the bait is the question, though. All right, they're starting to take it. They're being really patient right now.
J.Storm's.
Yeah, that was not nearly as sudden enough of a revelation. What you want to do if you bait like that? You jump into them really suddenly so that they react.
It's going to be the lasso coming back. Oh boy, monkeys again. There's just not going to be any Chain Frost ever coming out here.
Monkeys.
They do, poor monkeys. Gonna have the buyback though coming up from the Lich. They want to get this fight going. Death is just so slow. He's not going to be able to find it. And they take the snowball in, actually, going over onto the back end. Do the walrus punch, trying to take down Bryle. They've got the BKB, though, coming out here from the PA. Shallow Grave going to keep us alive just a little bit longer. But there's going to be the Omni Slash here in the background. Followed up with the Chaotic Offering. A little bit sloppy there. That's not going to be exactly how they want this, but still getting a decent amount of damage. And we do have the PA still trying to go. Finally gets the kill over onto Bryle. Outrider, though, is just burning her down. And now Timbersaw going to try to TP himself out. Z-Freak also needs to just leave.
That was such an odd fight. It was just like, it was really all over the place. From, honestly, these lassos on Lich, I'm not, that one specifically just kind of, it was just so odd to me, but it did burn him down right away. But again, he had a buyback. Granted, I guess he didn't even get his Chain Frost off, so that didn't even matter there. But yeah, and also Phantom Assassin dropped to half-life at the very beginning of the fight and then still just popped BKB and went in and eventually killed the Dazzle, as we saw, but just ended up having to commit so much to then just ultimately die herself. But
a lot of indecision, it felt like. Like, do we stay? Do we go? Should we use
both teams seemed just very scattered.
Well, the problem is that they need, one of them needs to drop the ultimate first. So they're both waiting for, one is waiting for the rock to drop, the other is waiting for the black hole to drop. And ultimately, the rock drops at a point where CompLexity can't really retaliate anymore. But yeah, they really have to push forward first and disrupt this lineup of the Radiant, because otherwise they're never going to get to the Warlock. He is so far in the back. So yeah, that's what all the waiting is for. And I think Oh no,
Oh, boy.
hold that thought
Oh, of
is...
Bro, the black hole, they do manage to finally grab this Dazzler. He's going to be the rolling right through. Ryle is now toast. And I have a Yules over here trying to just put some more damage over onto the Bat Rider. He's going to be able to go to the other shore, though.
Not the black hole of the century, but does build it for
That's
Dazzle.
enough. Sometimes, you know, you're happy enough with it. But PA now finding herself a Bat Rider. It's going to be Limp joining in with the Timber Chain. There's going to be the slow, the jump forward again. Frost Shield with that snowball. The Walrus Punch coming through. Will find the kill finally over onto Forev. In comes the Jug, though. He's doing so much damage. Trying to fight his way through over onto this Timber Zone. We get that lasso. And this time... Oh, it's doing so much damage. They'll be able to take down the PA. Z-Freak gonna get taken down in a double kill, and everyone else there trying to get Death out will be able to TP out in time. But it was looking real close, and Limp says, all right, I'm out of here. We're done here. Got a gem, though.
I was about to say that the PA came out of that previous fight pretty well still, just because she's so far behind. The kills gave her some gold still, but this one was definitely a lot less worth it. And once again, Moo coming out with the big damage and the big wins in gold right there.
Yeah, if you're CompLexity there, it's a case of just because, you know, you killed a core on the other side, in this case the Dazzle, doesn't mean you need to now just go all out, right? You know, kind of be happy with your catches and then reset. But, I mean, again, hindsight, but...
Yeah, it's a very tough call to make, because on the other hand, you know, they did just commit the black hole. They've said, all right, you know what, we're just going to use it on our terms, now that we know that the Warlock is ult is down. Going to try to make the best out of it. It's not going to get cancelled this time. They get a core. You kind of want to see if you can get a follow-up on that. And not just, you know, have spent your big ultimate that you had so long in your pocket. You just miss out on it.
They're still going after Fear again, but again, he's a big tanky boy. Did get the Blink Dagger picked up now on Death, but does not have that black hole and is constantly, you know, getting hit with everything coming out from this Ogre. Dagger gonna get thrown through. They try to pull in that Juggernaut, not gonna be able to do it. Moo just focusing here over onto these buildings. They have the Frost Shield over on the buildings, not gonna be able to do it. There's gonna be the Yules coming out though over here on the Bat Rider, who's looking at trying to get the jump, and they're just a little too afraid right now over on the side of CompLexity. They can't find this opening. They don't know how to do it. The Greaves are going to get popped over here. Dazzle just, you know, hanging back.
They're just using that Frost Shield to say, screw it, we didn't want the ranged racks. We're going to go top instead. Now, again, Chaotic Offering is ready, and that's CompLexity knows this. That's why they are playing so defensive. But they definitely can't give a second setup. Yeah, Black Hole just came off cooldown.
All right, Limp, there's only so much you can do to this Jug right now. Walrus Punch will just throw him up in the air. They'll get the Shallow Grave off. Death looking for this opening again. Now he has the black hole. He's got the Blink Dagger too. This is a really big reveal. If he can find that opening and get this, it's going to be big. And he actually gets hit off, oh my gosh, with the multicast too. Followed up with the dropping of the rock. He's going to get cut down, as is Monkeys Forever. And this team fight is just dwindling. They have nothing left really here. They're going to be able to go grab Z-Freak. The BKB coming out here from the PA. He's just hoping for some sort of a miracle. He tries to run away here with Limp, and Limp it's not looking so good right now. They're going to go Timber Chain right back again. Z-Freak somehow still alive. They've got the Lotus Orb, but they will be able to take down Miracle.
No.
They'll take down Z-Freak, and it's looking like Limp. Can he make it out at the last second? He's going to be able to do it, but we do get the buyback coming out from Z-Freak.
Can we check Enigma's or items real quickly? He does have a blink. I think I saw, yeah, I'm pretty sure he blinked in.
No, I saw the, what was it? What is that called on that rider? I'm totally blanking. Sorry, I'm so
the lasso?
No.
Flame break?
Yeah, I think I saw that bump him at like the last second.
Well, for me, it looked like he actually, right as he blinked in, he got hit by the Chaotic Offering almost. Either way, he still has the black hole. So
but they need damage.
Yeah, I think he was intending to use it, but again, he just got crowd controlled right as he was going in to use it, unfortunately, as he got that blink here recently. But great fight, of course, for J.Storm, and obviously cleaning up at the top lane. So now just the bottom set of racks remain here in what is game number 1, and it goes back to as well. This Juggernaut is just feeling unstoppable. I know, Kips, you were mentioning that earlier. CompLexity, it's going to feel hard to get to a point where it seems like that they can actually deal with him. And we've basically hit that point. It almost seems like an Eye of Scotty is going to be right-clicked here very shortly.
Miracle actually killed him by jumping onto a target that had the Mjolnir buff on it.
Oh.
That's
what a way to go.
That's never fun. 17 charges, I think I saw on the Bloodstone there for Timbersaw, so he's adding them up.
Doing okay.
And positive.
It definitely feels like an uphill struggle for the side of Complexity right now, especially just looking at the farm that Moo has and the way that these engagements have really been going. They just haven't found that perfect team fight that they want. Again, the Lich getting picked off very early each time, so he's not going to be able to, you know, we talk about the Chain Frost being nice, right, and especially if you've got that Black Hole, but there's also got, you know, the Frost Shield, which is so good, and then it's also some of their lockdown, right, being able to use the Sinister Gaze.
Bat Rider is getting an Octarine Core.
Oh, God.
Almost has it finished. Yeah, 2,100 gold, just needs that staff. Makes some nice magic spell steal slash cooldown reduction for his abilities.
Look at Moo, just walks right into the space, no fear, takes down the tower.
No, Fear's right there.
Fear has also overtaken the PA again. Just as the prophecy of Kips foretold, this multicasting Midas business is just too much farm.
Yeah, just slowly
back in
trickling down.
Look at this, just Moo, eyes on the prize.
Gotta try
Walrus
something.
Punch coming through. Again, he does have that Age of Shallow Grave, gonna spy him a little bit more time. He's just gonna spin himself back. He knows that. Oh, there's the Black Hole though. It's gonna land over on the view. And of course, that Jug, and he'll get a couple hits over. They'll finally take down Moo. They'll turn their attention now over to this Dazzle. They've got the drag going on here onto the BKB target. Oh God, that was so much gold that they just got from
By the way,
take down the bat. They'll get the gem back as well.
Nope.
They just, sorry, what?
Well, no, the Aegis was reclaimed literally at the last second right there. He was actually, I was expecting to resurrect, and I'm sitting here, wait, what just happened? But no, the Aegis got reclaimed as the Black Hole came out, and so he stayed dead, of course, and then Bat Rider's now dead for 100+ seconds all of a sudden. So Complexity actually doing a bit of a serious hold there, as they do have the ranged racks alive, and I believe the top lane, yeah, they still have both the racks. They have the ranged racks mid, and they still have both the racks up there. I mean, this is still a game. Again, the perfect timing for Complexity.
Oh my God. All right, so first of all, I just want to point out the fact that PA just bought herself a Basher outright.
Yeah.
First of all, so that's going to feel pretty good for her. But did you just see what Fear picked up?
No. What?
A Scythe of Ice.
Okay.
A full Scythe of Ice.
Full Scythe. He's rich.
Multi-casting Scythe of Ice. The sheepening is about to happen again, guys.
Abyssal Blade eventually, though, on Phantom Assassin is absolutely key if she wants to have any chance of man-moding against this Juggernaut. So that's a great pickup there to have. But yeah, they're just a beeline. I mean, they know Bat Rider doesn't have a buyback. This is a dieback on a timer. Not much, but 45 seconds still remaining on the timer, and she's going to be up before that anyways.
Yep, he will slow them down just a little bit. Limp, of course, doesn't really care. He's got that Timber Chain. Just walk himself away.
Yeah, they can't actually expect to fight the Juggernaut just yet, but they got the creep waves back. They took back some control of the map. They got some farm over there, and they probably...
Okay, that's the sheep stick reveal over here onto the Tusk. They'll be able to go throw out that Lotus Orb. Limp staying around. Gonna try to protect them. Ticking down a little bit, but should be all right. And Bat's back up now. So, have to be careful.
What I am looking for, yeah, he has a Blink Dagger now on Siegfried. Because what I haven't seen yet, what I was kind of expecting before, is some snowball saves from the lasso, and that hasn't really happened yet. But it is a possibility in the next couple of fights as well.
We just got a Scotty picked up on Moo too now.
Yeah, but the gold lead has now dwindled. They were up above 10k before, and it's... I saw some runes going the way of Complexity as well, yep. That's the... a pretty big dip.
Yeah, Phantom Assassin double damage balled up, sure. She's...
the jump forward though, Lasso. It is the Timber Saw. He's probably the best candidate here if he's gonna end up getting Lasso. Does have the BKB. He's gonna try to chase down Brile. Brile's gonna have to go use those Guardian Greaves. The Snowball coming through. There's nobody else quite with Z-Freak though. He's in for some trouble. Trying to get around these shards. Does have the Lotus Orb up, but he'll throw out the Walrus Punch, and in comes the PA. She's got that double damage, and they've got the Shallow Grave, so she's gonna have to go find herself another target over here. Monkeys Forever has his eyes on Moo, but Moo's just doing so much damage, and the Omni Slap comes through! Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's a triple kill coming out from Moo, and can they find themselves a Limp that's looking like they will? That's an ultra kill.
That Mana Rampage, he deserves it.
That's so unlucky for PA. And well
lucky,
played.
well, yeah,
coming out from Moo there.
How about Moo? Just the fact that he even held the Omni Slash that long, frankly, and just you saved the perfect opportunity to use it. I think that's the way to look at it too. But that's going to be a double buyback as they're trying to push and really just get mega creeps out of this in the end. But even with those buybacks, you don't have your Timber Saw for 75 seconds. You do have Black Hole though. Well, now you're down Lich as well.
I mean, PA jumping on the back lines, trying to find the best of this here, and there's going to be Moo. He just chases right after PA, and look at how fast he's just playing with their food at this point, guys.
And yeah.
Oh God, look at.
You see, the purpose of that was to hopefully make the fast jump. As I say, you startle them, you make them converge onto one point. So that was once again a Hail Mary play, trying to see if they could get a 4-man Black Hole out of Miracle engaging from the backlines like that. But it is just too little too late. Fear goes in with his sheep stick because he ain't afraid of no death.
Fear is so farmed. Again, it's I guess, you know, the Midas and having a good lane and whatnot because they really just could not kill him. But
yeah.
That would seem pretty ridiculous.
Breaky, man, you really sold me on that mid lane, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, oh, you did.
We just got debated. He's going to take our points now.
And I was
all part of the plan.
I was thinking that, you know, that doesn't sound quite right. But, you know, it's getting late. I took it, and instead that was a really well done by Brawl there as well.
It was a really good point. I didn't think about, you know, the idea of you just, you know, poison touch and just let it be.
I'm not even sure like that's what happened.
I don't know.
The idea is cool about it though. Like,
sure.
I don't play mid-dazzle.
No, it really, again, it goes back to, I would be intrigued to kind of see that replay and how that ultimately played out, because clearly I overlooked something. I mean, and we know Limp is a fantastic player, and so that has to be a matchup thing there that just, again, overlooked, and he won it quite dominant. So if we happen to have a Dazzle versus Timbersaw again,
we know.
Yeah.
We know.
And CompLexity knows it too. Like, we are not the only ones who overlooked this over here.
I mean, Limp wouldn't set himself in that spot, I feel like, if he actually knew how difficult that would be, right? So.
And gotta give the Warlock pick credit here as well. Like, we were memeing about it earlier a little bit, but the amount of damage that indeed it can put out into that Frost Shield, into this very threatening tri-lane, as well as having the heals, having the sustain on top of the Juggernaut and Nogram Magi. Very well drafted by J.Storm.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by the amount of regen that they had in that lane to keep, you know, the Jug there. And of course, you've got a big old tanky Ogre as well. That's not going to take that much damage. And they were really good at skirmishing in that lane. They made a lot happen. So, yeah. Any final parting thoughts or words before we go to a quick break?
I thought CompLexity made a couple of extraordinarily good plays. Like, the way that they go on mid, I was saying, like, all right, they need to go for the Deso, and then they need to make the spectacular team fight happen. They did that. Then the way Miracle tries to cut from behind, they are making the desperate plays. They're doing the things that they should do in the position that they are in. And I give them big props for that. And I hope that they can pull that off again in the second game, because if they do that while being ahead, I don't think J.Storm stands a chance.
Okay, so, wow, big words.
Yeah. But obviously, like, if you can lose all 3 lanes like this, then you have a problem as well.
Right.
So I'm not getting to any conclusions here. This is going to be a hotly contested match.
Right. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the next one, but we're going to go to a short break. So we'll see what comes up in this next match.